Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really simple but honestly super elegant conversation between a father and his 12-year-old son, Varun. It happens in a brand new car, but it very quickly unfolds into this profound lesson about capacity, your environment, and personal growth. The source material we're looking at is titled The Roadbed of Potential, and it is a brilliant example of how just everyday, mundane observations can lead to some deep foundational truths. Let's get started.
So if a car can go 300 kilometers per hour, why can't it? I know, it sounds a bit like a riddle, right? But it's actually the perfect hook to challenge our everyday assumptions. We often think that our raw potential, kind of like the engine of a massively powerful car, is the only thing that dictates how far or how fast we can go. But as we're going to see through the eyes of our 12-year-old observer, Varun, raw potential is really only one piece of the puzzle. There is this massive tension between what something is built to do and what its surrounding environment actually allows it to do.
Part 1. The speed limit illusion.
Picture this. On one side, we've got the car's absolute potential. Papa is sitting there in his brand new car, super confident in his driving ability. And the speedometer clearly shows it can hit 300 kilometers per hour. That is, crazy fast. But on the flip side, we have the reality of the road. The physical environment simply isn't meant for those speeds. So there is this immediate tension that young Varun notices. He sees the raw mechanical capability staring right back at him from the dashboard, but he senses that the limiting environment right outside the window is telling a completely different story.
It all starts with this beautifully innocent yet highly observant question. Varun basically asks, the speed meter shows up to 300 kmph. Can we go to that speed? I love this, because Varun isn't distracted by his dad's confidence. He is just looking at the hard data. The machine literally says it can do it. So, can it?
Now what's really fascinating here is Papa's response. He says, the car can go to those speeds, but the roads are not meant for it. Notice what he did there? He immediately shifts the blame away from the machine and squarely onto the infrastructure. It's not a lack of horsepower, and it's definitely not a lack of driving skill. The limitation is entirely external. The environment itself just cannot handle the machine's true capacity.
And this is where a 12-year-old brilliantly pieces the whole concept together. Varun replies, so the car can go only at maximum speeds the roads allow. Boom! He synthesizes the information perfectly. Environmental limits completely dictate actual performance. Papa even confirms this, pointing out that this exact same rule applies to trains as well. The track dictates the train's journey, just like the road dictates the car's speed. Your surroundings fundamentally cap your potential.
Which brings us to Part 2, the Autobahn difference.
So Varun remembers something his dad told him about the Autobahn over in Germany. Those famous highways that basically have no speed limits. Why is that? Well, Papa explains that the engineering reality is just entirely different there. The construction is much thicker. Actually, it's more about the rigorous engineering standards overall. They feature a much higher construction rigor. Our everyday local roads simply lack the engineering backbone required to support those maximum vehicle speeds. The Autobahn is a system built specifically to match the absolute highest potential of the machine.
All right, let's move on to Part 3, the metaphor of foundation.
Here, Varun comes to his ultimate literal realization. He points out, so the construction of the road defines the speed at which the car can go. He totally gets the engineering fact. The roadbed itself is the ultimate governor of speed. And this perfect little summarization is exactly the setup Papa needs to pivot into a really profound piece of life philosophy.
Papa jumps right on this and completely agrees. He tells him, yes, absolutely. It is always the foundation that provides for the ability, like you are creating your foundation now. As you learn more and go for higher education, the stronger this foundation, the farther you will be able to go. This is the core message right here. So let's just let that sink in for a second. Road construction becomes this direct, powerful metaphor for higher education and personal foundation. The rigor you put into building your mind and your skills is exactly like the thick, rigorously constructed concrete of the Autobahn. The deeper and stronger you build it, the higher the speeds you can ultimately handle in life.
Let's map this out because it brilliantly illustrates the whole metaphor, kind of like a giant puzzle. The car, that represents your raw potential. The roadbed is your education and your personal foundation, and the Autobahn represents finding a genuinely supportive system. By connecting physical engineering to human capability, we can see exactly how our internal preparation relies entirely on our external environment and vice versa.
And that leads us perfectly into Part 4, outgrowing your environment.
This right here is the true aha moment of the explainer. Varun says, just like the road, So if I create a very strong foundation and the vehicles are not available for that here, then I should move elsewhere. He totally flips the scenario. What if he becomes the Autobahn, but the environment around him only has slow vehicles? Or what if he builds this massive internal capability, but the local roads just can't handle him? He realizes that building a truly great foundation might mean you eventually outgrow your current environment altogether.
Papa completely agrees, and it basically leaves us with his rapid-fire blueprint for growth based on their chat. Number 1, do not reduce your ability to suit the road. Literally, never throttle your own potential just because your current environment is a bit lacking. Number 2, keep increasing your capability. Keep building that foundation, keep seeking higher education and greater rigor. And finally, number 3, go where the system supports you. If your local roads can't handle your 300 kmph potential, you absolutely have to pack up and find your Autobahn.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to chew on. Are you reducing your ability to suit your road? Seriously, think about your own foundation for a second. Think about the rigor of your own education and your development. Are you holding yourself back, driving at just a fraction of your true speed, simply because the current environment around you wasn't built to support your full potential? It's a tough question for sure, but as Varun and his papa showed us today, sometimes realizing you are built for the Autobahn is the very first step to finally getting there. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep building that foundation, and I'll catch you next time.